See how's it go. Right, okay, a very quick video. I just want to show some stuff that I've been buying at car boot sales over the last few weeks. None of it particularly expensive, you know, I think £3 or less I suppose, and most of it much less. But I love car boot sales. I love how random they are. Sometimes you don't find anything at all, but other days you walk away with all sorts of good stuff. So right, so this is what I'm listening to in the background. This is South African Man by Hamilton Bohannon. Yeah, so he passed away a few months ago now, I suppose, and I spoke a little about it at the time. I love all his 70s records. They've all got that slightly wonky groove going on, and this is exactly the same. This is 1974 on Brunswick, but a really nice copy. Yep, so that's very cool. Right, okay, just going to show a few records which aren't necessarily soul or funk, so start off with these. So this is the Pretenders' second album, Pretenders 2. I think this came out in 1981, was it, on Sire? Yeah, I love the Pretenders. Well, Chrissie Hynde has got such a distinctive rock voice, hasn't she? Great songwriter. I don't think they've ever made a bad record. You can't go wrong with them. This is an album I've never owned before, but big tunes on here like Message of Love, I Go to Sleep. Yeah, really pleased to find out for a couple of quid. I've been streaming their latest album, which came out about a month or so ago, which is brilliant, just as good as everything they've done. So I definitely recommend checking that out as well. So very cool. Right, okay. Right, so this is Goodbye Jumbo by World Party. I think this was a quid. I found this last week. Yeah, I'm more familiar with the two albums that followed this, but this is very nice. This is 1990. Again, Carl Wallinger, a great songwriter. And the big tune on here was Put the Message in the Box, a really nice single. But yeah, the whole album is very good. So yeah, pleased to find out for a quid. Right, okay, now this was in the box, 3 for £1. So this is a nice original copy of Summer Days, Summer Nights by the Beach Boys. It's a UK copy, nice clean flip back sleeve. Now, I've got quite a few Beach Boys records, but I think all of them are sort of post Pet Sounds, so it's quite nice to find one of their earlier albums in such good nicks for, I don't know, 30p or whatever it was. But yeah, very nice, very cool. Right, I bought a small pile of rock and roll 45s. Actually, all of them were EPs. This is one of them. This is Little Richard and his band. Lovely UK EP. She's Got It, I'm Just a Lonely Guy, Heebie Jeebies, Slipping and a Sliding. See a lovely clean flip back sleeve again there. I think I bought 14 in total. This is the only one that I've kept. The others I've flipped just to buy other stuff, basically. They're all very nice. They're all in this sort of condition, but yeah, I think the sort of collecting records, it's all about choices, isn't it? You know, I'd like to have kept them all, but they're just sat on a shelf, so I flipped them to get some cash for some records that I definitely would play. So and I'll show those in another video. But yeah, really nice stuff. So that's quite nice to find. Right, okay, some soul music. Right, this is quite a famous compilation. This is on the Direction label. It's called Soul Direction. First of all, what a great sleeve. But yeah, so this features bands like Johnny Johnson and the Bandwagon, Inez and Charlie Fox, Pretty Purdy, Sly and the Family Stone, the Chambers Brothers. Yeah, very nice record. Very much of its time, 1968. So it is that sort of soul music on the Direction label from that period. I say quite a famous comp, see it around quite a lot. It's always knackered, it's always trashed. It was obviously a real party record. This is a pretty nice copy. It has got a little bit of writing on the back, it's got somebody's name on the top. But other than that, the record itself is great, and I say that's on the yellow Direction label. That's cool. Right, okay. A few weeks ago I found this. This is a promo 12-inch of Erykah Badu and songs from her Baduizm album. Now, I think that's her debut, isn't it? So late 90s, about 98, something like that. This features just 4 tracks from that album, On and On, Next Lifetime, Apple Tree and 4-Leaf Clover. It's a great album. It's an album that I've got on CD, but not on vinyl, so it's nice to get these tracks on vinyl. Yeah, so this was just sitting in a box of just dodgy 12-inch singles, all looking a bit water damaged. And this was pristine and looks pretty much unplayed, so very nice. Right, okay, so this made me laugh. This is a bit of reggae now. This is Clint Eastwood and General Saint. The album's Stop That Train, I think 1984, is it? 83 on green sleeves. So, yeah, found this. I mean, it's a nice album. It's a solid album. It's not a classic by any means, but it's a good solid record. But yeah, so that's on the on the Greensleeves label, which you all know. But yeah, so I'm obviously a grown man, but still quite excited to find a record with the original poster in it, which did make me smile. But this was just a few quid. But pleased to find some reggae in some nice condition just for a few quid. So very cool. Right, okay, and I'll do a needle drop on some of these. This is The Impressions and their album First Impressions. This is 75 on Warner Brothers. Well, Curtom is part of Warner Brothers at this stage. So by this stage, the Impressions, Jerry Butler and Curtis Mayfield were long gone. Leroy Hudson, who replaced Curtis Mayfield, he'd also left the band. But bizarrely, it's at this point that they had a hit in the UK with, I think the title track was a top 20 hit in the UK. So this album must have shifted some copies, I assume, but this was only cheap. But a very nice album. It's much better than I expected it to be, so I've been playing this quite a bit. I'm going to do a needle drop on the opening track Sooner or Later, which is a nice mid-70s soul tune. But this, again, is in great condition, so really nice. Right, an album which is, yeah, really quite disappointing. This is Ahmad Jamal and his album Night Song, 1980, on the Motown label. I think this is the only album that he made for Motown. I was just wondering how this album got to this stage. It's so slick and cheesy and schmaltzy. Yeah, it really is an unlistenable record. I'm thinking about some of those great records that he made in the 60s and early 70s. There's stuff on Impulse and such, like brilliant records. But yeah, this really is pretty terrible. It does have one decent track. It's a cover of an Isaac Hayes sort of song called Deja Vu. I might do a little needle drop on that. But overall, this is an appalling listen. I did know prior to buying it that it wasn't going to be too good, but it is much worse than I expected. So there you go. But for a couple of quid, don't matter, so. Right, and just finally, a very dog-eared looking copy of the Shalala Means I Love You 12-inch by Barry White. But sounds wonderful on white vinyl, cost me 50p. I think it's worth 50p. That's how much you can get it for anyway. But I'll do a needle drop now. Certainly on the B-side, It's Only Love Doing Its Thing, which you may well know, Simply Red covered it. Written by Jimmy and Vella Cameron, an absolutely brilliant song, and Barry White does a great version of it, so I love that.
It's Fogger Dogger time!
Sometimes. Sure enough, it was your girlfriend on the phone, and she told me that she said you had a fight when you got home last night. It hurt me so doggone bad because I love you so much. I love you so much. But you and I both